This is my brother.
This is my sister.
How long have you been here in Tucson?
23 years in Tucson. 24 years. 23 as a cop.
Oh, wow. So you came here to do this?
No, I came here to work at Raytheon.
Oh, okay.
My mother-in-law also worked at Raytheon. I was to blow things up, but she had money for the government, so I couldn't blow things up. Conflict of interest.
Wow. That's interesting. So, yeah, pretty bad. It's my first interview.
Yeah, it's all right.
Do you normally work around the U of A?
No, I'm Pima County. I work the sporting events, and that's about it
Nice.
around U of A.
So are you...
My main is Rincon, which is the east side of town.
Yeah. The nicer side.
No,
No?
not necessarily. Marana's getting really nice.
Oh, yeah. Marana. I'm saying, like, Marana is like a whole nother place, though, right? It's its own town.
I'm not part of the city of Tucson either.
Yeah.
Tucson City's in the county, so it's Marana. So I'm a county guy.
That's true. Yeah. And do you think this is your favorite job you've ever had?
Nah, my favorite job's hanging out with my grandkids.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Doesn't happen very often, but that's my favorite job.
Yeah. You retiring soon?
I can only do 2 years left. I am in the drop, so the most I can do is 2 years.
Oh, wow. That's coming soon.
I hope. Not soon enough sometimes. Or 3 bad days, whichever comes first.
Wow.
If I have 3 bad days in a week, you aren't going to see me 2 weeks from then. I'll be retired. I'm retirement eligible.
Oh, okay. It's good to have the option.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
So, what do you think about the homeless?
Which homeless?
Like, I live near
The mentally ill?
east side. Well,
Because most of them are mentally ill.
yeah,
I think there should be someplace other than on the street for the homeless. How's that one?
yeah.
I don't
I
think
agree.
they should be on the street. But we've taken away hospitals. We put them in jail now. That's not the place for mentally ill. They don't have any programs in jail for mentally ill. They don't have any programs in prison for mentally ill. It's just a storage unit. I hate the way we do the homeless stuff.
I agree. I used to work admitting at Palo Verde, and I did the Sally Port. You know, you just drop
Yeah.
them off. But it is a storage place. And even there, that's designed for them. It's pretty discouraging. So I left. But it's
I don't know
still-
whether I could work totally with mentally ill people. I see probably one a day that's homeless, sitting there begging for food. I can't see an 18-year-old, and I will tell you this, where I live, I have a 22-year-old that sits on the corner of a specific area, and his car is parked behind the houses behind him. It's newer than my car.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's taking advantage of something that shouldn't be taken advantage of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard stories like that too.
Oh, yeah, I actually watch it probably 3 times a month he's there.
Yeah.
And my neighborhood's a very giving neighborhood. So,
They just take advantage.
yep.
A lot of situations.
Now let's talk about the veterans that are homeless. There's always an option for veterans. They shouldn't be homeless.
Yeah.
There's a VA right there at Tucson. Please go get help. That's my punch for the VA. I've taken them out there. In both my civilian car and my patrol car.
Oh wow.
So, I'm a veteran. I did 28 years, either active or in the reserves. So, those guys really shouldn't be homeless.
Yeah.
There's too many programs for them. Get help.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But the mentally ill, there's no reason this country cannot do better for them.
I think as a business, it's a great business,
I don't think it should be a business.
and that's the problem.
Yeah. That's the problem with healthcare today. It became a business. We no longer take care of the people, we take care of the money. Shitty place to be.
That's right. Well, anything, any ideas with, we've approached some homeless.
Yeah.
Is there any ideas or like suggestions for us to be like, so we don't trigger them or like?
No, there is nothing you can do that will not trigger someone. The bad part is that. Bad part is there are some of these mentally ill people that should not be outside and left alone without the medication. They self-medicate because that's the way you do things. Because you can't afford what they're supposed to take. They can't afford it. And we aren't going to give them the medical help to do it. Everybody said Obamacare would take care of that crap. No, it didn't. It just made those of us that have insurance that much higher.
Yeah.
It didn't take care of any of the problems it said it would.
I remember I got taxed and I said, you know what? We're just going to pay cash. We're just going to pay cash. No insurance anymore because of Obamacare.
My deductible is $6,000 every year. And I pay out of my salary almost $300 a month.
Yeah. That's not
The
right.
county matches that. It's not right. And I don't even use our medical insurance, but they make me have it. I'm retired. I'm a retired veteran. But I have to have their insurance. I do. Next question. Let's talk about COVID.
Yeah.
What do I think of COVID? What do you think of COVID?
It's a flu, a new flu. Like I work in the hospital. I worked in the hospital for like 9 years.
Yeah.
And now I do home hospice.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot we can do. I think we gotta let it mutate and
Go make its way through the world.
yeah.
And I think we're going to be the last ones in America to make it way through.
Here in Arizona, you think?
Here in the world.
Oh,
Here in the United
here in the
States.
US.
Yeah. But, you know, I went to France this year, too. I did. I went to France and we took a cruise. And in France, they have almost every 3 blocks in Paris, there's a place to get tested. We got so much money in Tucson, Arizona, right? And in Pima County. Have you seen any of those testing spots here?
There's huge lines. Like,
They didn't have any lines. You know why they didn't have any lines? Because every 3 blocks they had one of those places. I think we got $247 million in Tucson, Arizona. Pima County, $247 million. Tucson, Arizona, I think got another $200 million to do this. Put down these testings. Do you see any of those testing sites? It's all lining somebody's pocket. It's not mine.
That's right.
Hell,
We didn't get-
I'm
we
going
didn't get
backwards in
any-
pay.
Yeah, we didn't get any like pay increase or anything at the hospital.
Yeah, I'm going backwards in pay.
Yeah.
And if you're in the hospital and you've made it through COVID virus for 2 years, and now all of a sudden, since they have a shot, you have to take one.
Yep.
Doesn't matter whether you've had COVID before, which scientists now saying are better for you anyway. I've had COVID. I don't need a shot. And trust me, I had to get the shots. I went to France.
Yeah.
I have 2 brand new baby granddaughters. I got the shots because I wanted to see them. End of story.
They twist
Their parents,
your
their rules. So I'm okay with that.
I mean, at the end of the day, the benefit outweighed it.
Getting the shot?
Getting the shot. I had to keep my job, and that was more.
It's too expensive, wasn't it? Being homeless and no money is way wrong on my book.
Yep. So they got me there.
Yeah, they got me because I wanted to go to France to see my granddaughters. I could have cared less
About
if it wasn't
yeah.
that. If those 2 things didn't happen, well, 3 things. My wife had people in her lap every day. She's a dental hygienist. So those 3 things, without those 3 things, they wouldn't have got me, especially by telling me that I had to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody should be told you have to do something, especially in the United States.
Right.
So we could talk about that amendment, but we won't, because the court even said today that medical personnel can still be ordered to do it, as long as they have a government contract. So everybody has a government contract to help Social Security, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of silly?
It is
So it leaves nobody an option.
very interesting.
What else do you have a question for cops?
So his wife
Yeah, probably become a fireman.
Fireman.
No, our job's terrible now. 10% of the population hate us. They just happen to be the loudest 10% in the world right now.
Yeah.
BLM. I don't want any cops around. You know what? You don't want any cops around until you're the one getting shot at.
Exactly.
Then you want us to go get shot at instead of you.
And their businesses.
Well, you know, I would tell you this. Most people do not hate cops and want cops around. I went to Iraq. I went to Afghanistan. 10% of those people hated us too. They just happen to be the loudest 10%. They happen to have bombs. That's how they talk. Our 10% use their mouths.
Yeah.
And protests. Go figure. Protests. You been to a protest yet? Yeah. So, what's one good question you'd have for any cop?
Well, why do you keep doing it?
Why do I keep doing it? I got into this job for one reason, that's to help people. Anytime I can't do that makes me feel bad. I probably cried more because I'm a cop than any person you will ever know. The first time you go up and pick up a 2-month-old off the street, you're going to cry. The first time you do CPR on both a boy child and a girl child, 4 and 2, and the firemen have quit because they've given up. I didn't give up. I continued with the CPR. I wouldn't give up. And I knew they were passed. They both drowned that day. That makes you cry. I don't know many cops that have done any part of this job that doesn't feel for something they've done. None. I don't know any. You know, we get called racist. I don't know whether we're racist or not. We just want you to do what you're told. We're actually, whenever you walk up to a car, most dangerous part of any job that a cop does is a traffic stop. You aware of that?
No.
More cops die during traffic stops than any other reason. And you're going to sit there and say, well, I didn't need to do what the cop said immediately. Well, you know that cop's looking at traffic the other way? You, your car passenger, everything else that's going on during that traffic stop. I'm one of the unlucky ones. I've been outside of my car, beside a car that I'm talking to, got hit by a drunk driver while I'm outside of my car in my job, in this lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you kept coming back for more.
My wife made me go up to Mount Lemmon for 7 years. I was a Mount Lemmon deputy for 7 years over that. Her answer now is, if that crap happens again, you're retiring that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Stress? I don't think there is such a word as stress anymore. I think you all die at 7 to 10 years after you're done being a cop. They didn't tell you that either. Don't let her be a cop. 7 to 10 years after you retire. What's the reason to retire? Go see the world, enjoy life. 7 to 10 years later, you're going to be dead. Your heart relies on this stress. Doesn't work out too well. That's why I became a cop, because 7 to 10 years after I was out of the military, they said the same thing would happen. So I just became a cop. Firemen couldn't do that. They don't have any stress in their life.
They don't have any stress. I think you know a fireman somewhere, right?
I know a couple of them. I really wish I would have chose over again. If I would have chose what to do again, I think I would have chose being a cop over being a fireman.
Really?
Really. I've enjoyed helping the people I could help. Although cops, every time they go to a scene, they're loved. Every time I go to a scene and bad things start happening, I start yelling at people. I need you to do this because I don't want shot. I don't want to be in a fight. I'm good at it, but I don't want either one of those things to happen.
You're good at fighting?
I think you need to be a little good at fighting.
Did you take any, when you were younger, did you take any, fighting classes or?
Golden Gloves boxing?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Kind of got you in that
Wrestling?
mindset? Yeah?
No, I would tell you this, I'm not a violent person. And my wife would guarantee you. She would tell you, I'm the biggest teddy bear there is, but I'm gruff on the outside.
No.
But I'm the biggest teddy bear inside. I've given money to homeless. I'd give them Christmas Eve. I pulled a traffic stop right up there. Guy had got in a car accident, got rear-ended. Was crying. Wouldn't leave until he was crying. Very little scratches on his car. First of all, I went out and got him $200 worth of groceries because he said he couldn't afford them. Second of all, I got him a job where I got him $200 worth of groceries. And I got his girlfriend, his fiancée that he says, got her a job. Your job in this career field, in this life, is to help people, not to hinder them. Make them better people. Because in turn, they're going to make you a better person.
You're like a
How's that one?
cheerleader.
Huh?
You're like a cheerleader.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, some of your cheering doesn't work. But I hope every cop out there is trying to do better so he can make somebody else's life better. And I don't know many cops that do anything that they aren't forced to do. Now, the guy who sat on somebody's neck, stupid. The guy who shot the guy leaving Wendy's because he had stole their taser, they knew his name, everything else, he was just a DUI. Go get him the next day. Stupid. There's things we should do better.
Yeah. I mean,
But it happens.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to control their temper whenever they need to.
right.
I was lucky. I think he was lucky. We both started off in corrections.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did 8 years on death row.
Like the Wilmot?
No, Utah. So I'm okay. I've learned how to talk to people. I think everybody should start off in the jail
And
or
work
in
up.
corrections. I think that's where we should pick them from.
That's what they advertise, right? Kind of like it's a
Yeah.
career path. But
I think the worst job in the world is a correction officer. Would you agree with me?
my stepbrother does that.
That's the worst job in the world.
He's like, I was curious about it.
You're a
and he's
babysitter. You're a babysitter for people that want to kill you. Just telling you the truth. They don't like rules. The people we got in jails and in prisons, they've all been given numerous opportunities to not be there.
Yeah.
And instead they choose a way that is not good for them. They choose a way to not better their lives. They continue stealing stuff, or they continue beating somebody up, or they continue threatening somebody. Well, what are we supposed to do with those people? They get to stay in jail. But most people, that first time they steal something, you ever see anybody stay in jail the first time they steal something?
No.
How about the 40th?
Well,
How about they shoplift the 40th time? After the 4th time in this state is a felony. Or
Oh.
supposed to be.
40?
4th. I know
Fourth.
people that shoplift every time I see him in a store.
Yeah.
Just arrest him because he's stealing something.
Yeah.
That's a terrible way to think. But in our minds,
You have to think that way.
that's what happened. No, I really wished I wouldn't think that way. I really wish I'd be a cheerleader all the time and not see the negative parts in the world. We were talking tonight about our own kids and how we try to get them to see the negative things. So it's very hard because we still want them to be kids. You don't see the things I see.
Absolutely.
You don't see the scary stuff. You don't see that monster in the middle of the night like I do. I thank God every day that you don't see that. That's the hard part. Is seeing that guy and learning how to deal with that guy. The first time I did a DARE presentation in school, where I was talking about bikinis, wherever you're covered, you don't get touched. And that little girl, the very first time I taught it, a little girl said she was raped by her stepfather. I had to set up the office because I got her out of there and her brother out of there. But I had to set up the office so I didn't kill the guy. That's what hurts you. That's what hurts you as an officer. That's stress. The rest of the stuff, somebody shooting at you, shit, that's just part of life. We're all used to that. That's been beat into our heads enough. But that first time that happens to you, where you got to go in and see that dad who's had sex with his daughter, or his stepdaughter, that's in 3rd grade, oh my God, that's stress. I think 8 years on death row. I thank God about that every day.
Yeah.
I thank God, number one, I do the speed limit. Because without the speed limit, I would have died. Not kidding. I was hit by a drunk driver. He was doing 110. I was doing 40. That was head-to-head, pretty much. 5 knee surgeries on each leg. Pituitary adenoma removed from my head, from my nose. It's kind of cool.
Through your nose.
Yeah.
So you don't
But
have
it's
a
my nose is
scar.
nice. My nose is nice and straight.
Yeah.
They had to re-break it. I can breathe now.
Interesting.
So you always got to see the positive in things, right?
Right?
Doctors stick a whole bunch of tools in my head, cut out a tumor,
Yeah.
and it came through my nose. But they broke my nose, got it straight, now I can breathe better.
That's it. So interesting.
Yeah. Now I wish my knees would stop hurting. That hadn't happened yet. Fake knees that'll take care of that. Wait for that.
Me too.
It's a positive.
Yeah.
Cheerlead that. Yay.
I think, yeah, you'll
So,
get there.
last question. Then I got to go to work.
Okay. Where do you think we should start with our approach, like towards police officers, and how do we, show respect?
I will answer that in a very, very serious way. Whenever shit is hitting the fan, please do what the cop says. Biggest problem is whenever you don't do what that cop says. He's controlling a whole lot more than what you think. Everybody thinks, well, that black guy just got shot because he was bending down. What did the officer tell him to do? He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know whether he's reaching under the seat to get something. The white guy's the same reason. More white guys die from cops every year than black guys. So, problem is, we stop more white people than we do black people. So it's kind of right up there percentage-wise of what happens. But please, whenever the cop tells you to do something, just do that. It's a very simple scenario. If he asks you to do something, please do it. If he's screaming at you to do something, do it. Because the louder he's screaming, the more nervous he is. That's human nature. That's the scary part of life. If he's telling you to lay down on the ground, lay down on the daggone ground. It's his fault if you get hit by a car, not yours. At that point, it's just his fault. Let him take the blame. But if he's telling you to lay down in someplace safe, lay down someplace safe. If he's telling you to lay down in the middle of the road, lay down in the middle of the road. He'll stop traffic. They're like Superman. I can stop like 500 cars at once.
Yeah. With one hand.
With one hand. And a yellow vest.
The yellow vest.
So yeah, just...
One other question.
Yep.
I saw a video where they're tapping the trunk of the car.
Tapping it?
Like when they touch.
Yeah.
You guys touch the car when you do traffic stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
We're making sure the trunk is locked.
That's it.
Pretty much.
There was a comment saying like, "Oh, it's to leave fingerprints in
No.
case something happens."
No.
I guess.
No. It's to make sure the trunk is locked
Right.
so that nobody jumps up on things. Because most time whenever a cop goes up to the car, they reach in and look like this into the car. I don't do that anymore because I've been outside of a car and hit by a freaking drunk. Once I see your hands are clear, I tell you to leave them on the steering wheel, and then I go around front and I talk to you eye to eye. And I watch that way because that hurts. Just saying, that hurts. That hurt pretty bad.
I bet.
I got to spend a week in the hospital over that one. And 2 kids that I arrested, how you treat people, 2 kids that I arrested 6 months prior were the ones that jumped their fence, tackled the guy, and broke his arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Treat other people how you want to be treated. It doesn't matter whether they're doing something wrong. And I really wished I wouldn't have had to arrest them. But we got too much stupid lawsuits in the world now. I'm pretty sure at one point while you were underage, you drank beer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure whenever I was underage, I drank beer. Don't tell anybody. And I'm pretty sure everybody's done something wrong whenever they're 18 and below. Let's do the responsible thing, you know? Whenever you're at a party, somebody take your goddamn keys. Don't be the guy that gets in trouble drinking on the way home. Definitely don't be the guy that gets in trouble after a cop stops you and you wreck it, kill one of your buddies that are drunk. That's what we did. We didn't kill each other. but we had a designated driver. And as long as that designated driver blew zeros, that state patrol would just let us go. Now, that wouldn't work. Because the first time that guy wrecked, I guarantee you that cop loses his job. That city loses about $4 or $5 million. All of that's stupid. We all did it. We all took responsibility for it a little too late. And you know what? Most importantly, parents, it's my quote for parents. Treat your kids like you wanted to be treated whenever you were a teenager. And whenever they go out and drink, by God, have that conversation with them to either stay where they're at or call you. But if they can't do those things, keep them at home.
Fair enough. Well, thank
Go
you
to
so
work.
much. All right.
Yeah. No problem. If you wanted to, any chance, if you wanted to check out our YouTube channel,